Hey YouTube, so we're going to get started here on our Losi. Paxton finally broke it. He actually broke it. This one was having a servo situation just like my other LMT, the son of a digger. If you see that video, you're going to see a second part to that. Hopefully I don't run into that with this one. But anyway, pretty obvious we broke something here. Anybody that owns an LMT's probably broke this part. The only reason I say that is we got a couple of them here. The bog hog has been broke. You can tell it pulled a little bit of the plastic out right here. That link in, I took it off already, but right here is what you're dealing with. So that thing kind of angles back like so when you mount it on an axle, but it actually bent that screw. Get turned up here where you can see it. Yeah, there you go. So it actually did bend it. So I'm going to pull both of these screws out. They're 3mm. I'm going to find the same length 4mm screw, put it right back in the hole, and then I'm going to do what they call a cable tie mod, I feel like. So let's get it. So 2.0mm hex, and the unbent screw will come right out pretty much. The screw that is actually bent, I don't know how easy that's going to come out. Put my finger on for a little bit of pressure. It came right out of there. Well, it's a doozy, ain't it? Now, that being said, I'm going to dig through my set, find me a 4mm screw that'll fit it. So I found some screws here. They didn't have an actual size on it. I sized it up with my other set, but they're about 3mm by 10mm or 3mm by 12mm for the stock screw. So I went with a 4mm that looks to be pretty much identical on the length. So we're going to cram those in there and see if we can get this thing back together real quick. Now I'm just going to stick them in there, hang on to it. That's a drill to get them started. So they started really well. I'm going to go on and run it through, see if it busts these little ends off. I think it did on the last one. Yeah, it did. So I'm going to take and pop those off real quick. They're really easy. You just reach in there with your thumb, just break them off. That 4mm will pretty much eat that space up anyway. I'll do the same thing to the other one. Of course, it ain't going to break. I'll have to get a pair of cutters or something and pop it off. But anyhow. Okay. Finally, got them popped off there. So remember, the tapered side, that's what you're going to call that. There's a flat side back here on the back, and then taper side goes to the front. You set back up in there. You can hear it biting now. It'll run down pretty close. Then the other one. Now, that feels good and tight. Let's get in there and see what it looks like. Got just a touch of a gap, so I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit more by hand, and we'll stick her back together. I think it'll be time to go play some more. I done this on the back of the bog hog. Paxton had to backflip it when it was cold outside, and it did fix it. So I'm confident that this will stay together, and then I'm going to do the little cable tie trick, show you what that's supposed to be, I guess, and then that'll be that. Looks like I'm taking a wheel off I forgot about, since it was all in pieces. And if you don't have a tool, it's 8mm socket to remove that wheel. And then this screw is of course a 2.0mm. It gets a lock nut on the other side. That started till it looks like it's close. Okay, then we need to make sure we put our lock nut up inside the actual arm. Tore him down. Looks good. We're back on there. But while we have good view, But we're going to take a cable tie, run through here. We're going to do this on each and every one. The way I understand this is called a cable tie mod. And this is about as strong as you're going to be in factory setup. So I'm going to do each and every one of my units like this. Of course, I'm going to cut this end right here off. Try to be careful when you cut this not to make it sharp, because if you get in there fiddling around, you're going to, of course, cut your hands. But yeah, this should be all there is to it. I'll put it back together and take it outside and bash it. There it is. Sling's back together. Of course, 8mm down inside here. Take your tire off. Other than that, I think we're pretty self-explanatory there. Here's what your cable ties look like. I couldn't find a good pair of cutters, so I took scissors to them. You can hardly see that one, but I can get up there in the light. Yep. There she is. That's supposed to make them a lot stronger. Thank you, YouTube. Like, subscribe.